just ready to go.
Yeah.
They want to get to it. Yeah, we say these lists are close, but when you're running 1-mana tutors to get any creature, a card like Kalidas can make a huge difference in the matchup.
Both players with a lot of copies of Lingering Souls, and that normally plays a huge role in these kind of mid-rangey, Thoughtseize-esque mirrors. So,
well, especially there are a lot of copies of Liliana between the two decks.
Yeah. Jadine's going to search up an Overgrown Tomb off of a Marsh Flats and play a Bauble. Going to target Chad. The follow-up is an Inquisition of Kozilek. Looks like a Scavenging Ooze, a Thoughtseize, a Lingering Souls, a Temple Garden, a Swamp, a Grim Flayer, and I believe a Tarmogoyf. The
You
cards
got
that
it.
Kastel's
Yeah,
working
look
on.
at you. Hawkeye over here.
Yeah. If I could get paid to identify cards from a distance.
It's like Name That Song, where they only play like 1 or 2 notes. They start by showing you just the corner of the card.
I would be very wealthy.
Yeah, you would just crush it.
I'd be very wealthy.
Yeah.
You know, unfortunately for me, it's not really something you can put on a resume that's going to impress many people.
Have you tried?
No comment. No comment. I can tell a Magic card from a really long distance without having to see the text. I can tell you what it does and the artwork. Do you want to hire me? Why are you hanging up the phone? Thoughtseize here from Chad. You'll see a Lingering Souls, an Abrupt Decay, a Fatal Push, and a Forest.
And this is what's so funny about matchups like these. The game gets so condensed because, you know, one person uses a discard spell, the other person uses a discard spell. Going into turn 2, there's almost no cards left in either player's hands. Like,
and it's weird too because right now, you can make an argument of saying, "I want to take your Lingering Soul," so you only get the front half of it, or excuse me, the back half of it.
Yeah.
You only get one instance of it. Is the easiest way to put it. But Chad says, "I'm going to take your Fatal Push, and we're going to keep playing a little bit of Magic here."
well, and there's a couple things in play there. Right now, Jadine can't even cast the front half of the Lingering Souls.
Yep.
And even if she could, it gives her an effective play for turn 2. She doesn't have anything else going on right now.
Chad going to play a Temple Garden untapped. Here is Tarmogoyf. Pass the turn back. Perhaps we'll see Abrupt Decay take care of the Tarmogoyf.
And by doing it this way, he's saying, I think the Grim Flayer is more important.
Which I agree with.
Yeah.
Tarmogoyf going to bite the dust. Jadine will draw. Has she found a white source of mana? That's the question. Here's a basic forest. She'll just pass. We're going over to Chad. Chad will draw.
Fetch land in his hand. That's a good one.
Not sure if he has any copies of Lingering Souls just yet. Again, remember, it does play a huge role in things. Grim Flayer, too. And it looks like he does have a Lingering Soul, so if he wants to go that route, he can begin to do that. There goes Marsh Flats. Gonna search up an Overgrown Tomb with the fetch land, Will Kastel. Remember, no Death Shadow here. As here's Lingering Souls.
Looks pretty similar.
It looks very similar when you see cards like Bauble and the fact that these players will take so much damage from their lands. But none of the powerful 1-mana creature. There are 2 spirits, and we're going to head back over to Klomparens. She'll draw. There's a fetch land for her. Got to imagine she's going to go dig out some sort of white source here so she can start casting Lingering Souls as well. So there's a Temple Garden for Jadine. 14-13 in favor of the player on the left. There's Lingering Souls. Spirit Party. Here they come. There are your trades. Yep. Not much of a surprise here as Chad is going to sacrifice of Verdant Catacombs. That's a basic forest. He'll fall down to 12. Lingering Souls will be recast. I think we'll see Grim Flayer here in just a moment. We will. And now we'll head back over to Jadine.
I think Chad's one card type away from Delirium there. His sorcery creature in land right now.
Mm-hmm.
I can't imagine it would be hard for him to end up with an instant in there.
Grim Flayer, that human warrior, very powerful, tons of text, and has worked its way into Modern in a big way. Tassiger, pretty nice find there for Jadine.
Yeah, that's a good one. Man, how much of a problem is Standard when you can't even play Grim Flayer in it?
Yeah, it's just not very good.
Well, and you can consistently get Delirium on turn 3 or 4.
Mm-hmm. It's just the world we live in right now. It is weird.
I don't like the world we live in.
Well,
I want a better world.
Well, maybe we'll get there. I don't know. I hope so. Look, you just got to embrace Marvel and Ulamog.
I do?
Yeah.
Just everyone else does too?
You can play Mardu Vehicles if you want.
That is actually what I have been playing recently.
You want to gamble? I like Mardu Vehicles. I had a lot of fun with it earlier this year. Kastel going to try to figure out what's the best way to work through this Tassiger.
Yeah, Tassiger's big.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it doesn't get hit by Abrupt Decay or Fatal Push.
Chad with 2 main deck copies of Path to Exile this weekend. Looks like he's going to play a Thoughtseize. Took care of, I believe it was Liliana. The
Looks
Veil.
like Liliana.
Yep. Now Jadine's empty-handed. Big follow-up. What do we got?
No. Yes.
Yeah, sure.
And Chad is someone we've known for a long time.
Yep.
And I think at one point, you know, earlier you were talking about how Reed makes so few mistakes and he never rushes his turn.
Yep.
And I think Chad, years ago, was one of the players who often rushed his turns.
Yes.
And he's really matured as a Magic player and seen a lot more success now that he's playing slower.
Yep. He does walk the fine line, though.
Yeah, at points, it's slow.
Yes. He does walk the fine line sometimes. Now you see a Traverse with Delirium is going to search up a Tarmogoyf. So this is the difference in deck lists here for these two players, because Chad has 4 Tarmogoyfs, 4 Grim Flayers, and a Scavenging Ooze to search up. And his Scavenging Ooze is gone. And Jadine, as she activates Tassiger, and there's Fatal Push and then one of each Leon in the graveyard now.
Yeah, wow.
Jadine has cards like Tassiger and Kalitas to be able to search up as one-ofs with Traverse. So her Traverses are better than Chad's most games.
Yep.
Chad will untap. Chad gave back Liliana the Veil for the record. Liliana the Last Hope is very good on this battlefield, and Push would take care of Grim Flayer, so it's the best of not a lot of great options there for Kastel.
Yeah.
Path to Exile's timely.
Oh, that was a good one.
Yeah.
That was huge.
And now we'll see how Kastel would like to attack. But Grim Flayer, Lingering Souls, these are clear to attack now.
Yeah, let's get frisky.
Mm-hmm. It was Tassiger holding down the fort. 4-5 was winning the battle against the 4-4 Grim Flayer, but no longer.
Yeah, and he's not worried about that Liliana at all anymore.
Lingering Souls will trade. And now we'll have a Grim Flayer trigger.
Yeah, I like this.
Kastel's going to play Tarmogoyf. Grimflayer's going to put 2 lands in the graveyard now for Klomparens. Some trouble here for Jadine.
Yeah, she really needs her own Goyf to brick wall the opponent, but Chad was able to keep a Liliana on top of his deck.
That's really good.
Yeah.
5/6 Tarmogoyf here for Kastel.
Average 2-drop.
Not bad. Not bad.
He's got a 2-drop 4/4 that fixes his draws. 2-drop 5/6.
Well, here's a 3-drop Planeswalker. Liliana's going to take care of the Spirit token. Best that she can do. We head back over to Kastel now. And there's Liliana. And he's going to plus immediately. And Jadine will not even show whatever that card may be. As Chad Kastel is going to win game number 1 here over Jadine Klomparens. The ARZAN Traverse Mirror currently in favor of the player on the right, which means we're going to take a look at the player on the left. Of course, that's Jadine and her sideboard to begin things. 3 Collective Brutality, 2 Flaying Tendrils, 2 Surgical Extraction, and a lot of 1-ofs, so buckle up. Engineered Explosives, Lingering Souls, Eidolon of Rhetoric, Damnation, Shriek Maul, Fulminator Mage, Reclamation Sage, and Kataki's War's Wage. Craig, what do you like and why do you like him?
So almost all of the threats that we're looking at in these matchups are 2-drops. Makes the Engineered Explosives a very efficient answer to that. The Lingering Souls, we saw how good they were at trading back and forth, and when it comes down to Planeswalkers, having these diversified threats with tons of spirits makes the Lingering Souls really effective. Damnation, powerful card in this matchup. A lot of creatures on the board sometimes. The Shriek Maul potentially is a tutor target that can take out Tarmogoyf. So a smattering of those cards.
Yeah, a lot of really good options for Jadine. For Chad, you're also going to find a somewhat similar sideboard. 2 Fulminator Mage, 2 Surgical Extraction, 2 Flaying Tendrils, and then here come his 1-ofs. Tireless Tracker, Eidolon of Rhetoric, Kataki War's Wage, Collective Brutality, Shriek Maw, Maelstrom Pulse, Damnation, Engineered Explosives, and Reclamation Sage.
So a very similar thing going on here. I really like the Tireless Tracker in this matchup. If you can tutor up a tracker, play a fetch land, crack the fetch land, you just have so many resources to work with as the game goes on.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good way to kind of break the parity.
Yep.
Start to get ahead, and also a really big creature, too. So I imagine that will be the go-to traverse target if the game does start to bog down. I think generally it would be Scavenging Ooze.
Yeah.
But Chad lost his so early in that game that he had to tutor for a Tarmogoyf. A Timely Path was able to sew things up, but I think Tracker will be a nice one.
Yeah.
I think it'll be a good one for him to be able to find if the game does get to that point. But we'll see if Jadine's able to tie things up as she does prepare to sideboard and shuffle up for game number 2. In the meantime, we are going to talk about the Twitch feature match area here on the SCG Tour. You can join it for only $4.99 a month. Most importantly, you, in just a couple hours from now, get to decide the quarterfinals, what match we're going to watch. You get to vote on that, and we let you at home decide what Craig and I will cover in the quarterfinals. You also get access to custom emoticons and badges. And as I mentioned, it's only $4.99 a month. Twitch.tv/SCG Tour for more information. We want to thank you for, of course, watching this broadcast and watching this match here between Jadine Klomparens and Chad Kastel and the ARZAN Traverse Strategy. I like this deck, but this seems like a deck that's kind of here to fight Death Shadow.
Yes.
I'm curious how good of a job it does of that.
But I also think it's just a sleeker, lower, more efficient ARZAN deck. Has very, very few 3-drops in it. You know, it's got some Planeswalkers, some Lingering Souls, that's it. We're not looking at Kitchen Finks in here. We're not looking at main deck Tireless Trackers. This deck's low to the ground, it's sleek. I think it's similarly as successful as a Death Shadow deck.
They're very similar decks.
Yes.
Yeah. It's just without Death Shadow, I mean, are you losing free wins? Not entirely sure. I mean, both these players are having a good tournament.
Sure,
so.
but you also don't have to put yourself in as many perilous spots trying to grow your Death Shadow.
Very true.
You know, it's this trade-off.
Yep. Some players might be uncomfortable playing games like that as well, basically being at 6 or 5 the entire time, because that is pretty uncomfortable. Now, with regards to what these players are playing for this weekend, well, first place here in Baltimore is $5,000, 30 SCG points, and an invite to our Season 1 Invitational in Roanoke, Virginia, about a month away from now. You'll see second place is $2,000, 25 SCG points, and that invitation. Our invitations will be going all the way down to the top 8, where at the very least walking out here with $500. The top 16 finish will get you $325, so on and so forth at the very least. For those 79 players that did make day number 2 of competition, 3 SCG points to work themselves towards our invitational weekends in Roanoke twice a year. So we'll see who walks out here with the big prize. Right now, if I had to pick, give me Reed Duke.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm real bold. I'm really bold.
Just going out on a limb?
If I'm a real tough guy picking the most successful player in the room. I know.
Yeah.
I know.
You know what? I'm really going to just put myself out there and pick the best player
Stab
here.
in the dark?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just go stabbing around.
If we had just shown you deck lists at the start of the event.
I don't know if I could do it then. I don't know if I could do it then. Old Junderino. Here's a traverse for Jadine as she falls down to 17 from a fetch plus shock.
Reed navigated that game so well.
Weird.
With that Olivia.
That's really weird. That is a shock. I can't believe it. Basic forest here for Jadine. I just like that the one Olivia came up in a match that we watched because we saw the deck list and we're like, what the heck's this thing doing here?
Yeah, it seems like a kind of outdated card.
Yeah, that card could be any card.
He drew it, he played it, it won the game.
It was awesome.
By itself.
It's probably the only card. Well, I don't know, only card's probably strong, but maybe the best card for the situation. Kill all Brennan's stuff and then killed him. Kind of.
Yeah, is that what you want out of your cards?
Kind of how you draw it up. Marsh flats after the bobble. Kastel will draw a card. We're headed back to Jadine Klomparens.
This is a little different start compared to last game.
Yeah, a little slower. No discard. Forest Tarmogoyf pass.
A lot of strategies involve siding out a lot of the discard in matchups like this. They're good on the first couple of turns, but after all the resources have been depleted, you really don't want to peel one of those discard spells in the mid game.
Yeah, really bad top decks.
So you're like, oh, I'll just play a few more threats, a little more removal, and hopefully they're the ones drawing discard spells in the middle of the game.
Yeah, where it's going to do effectively nothing and it's a dead draw. That's the plan. Kastel's going to draw a card. Thought about sacking the fetch land, but he's holding steady. Another bauble. He'll target himself. There's a Blooming Marsh. And he'll pass the turn back after drawing a card from the bauble.
The old fetch land bauble shenanigans.
Ah, yes. If you don't like what you see, you can fetch it away. Clearly the intended use for bauble.
Yeah.
When it was designed.
Yep. Well-designed card.
Yes, to work with fetch lands. Tarmogoyf's going to try to attack. Kastel very quickly sacrificing a Marsh Flats. He's got to figure out what land he wants to go get.
Wizards should make a few more zero casting cost cards.
Okay.
That seem to have basically no use right now.
Okay.
But potentially have some very powerful effect in the future.
Like down the road.
Yeah.
Okay. Mishra's Bauble being one.
Yeah. Like, let's make some more cards like this and just see what happens.
What's the worst that could happen?
Yeah, Death Shadow. Yeah.
It's funny. Greg Hatch tried so long to make Death Shadow really good, and now it's at its peak. I know he's still trying to figure out a way to make Niv Magus Elemental the greatest.
Okay,
but I bet something will come along where that card's awesome.
1-drop 1/2.
Yeah. Gets to eat spells, get counters.
Yeah. If they make a couple more Storm cards.
He's eaten a lot of Flusterstorm copies with that card. I can tell you that much. So I'm hopeful one day we see Niv Magus Elemental back in the spotlight. Liliana's going to make both players discard. Jadine will lose a Path. Chad will lose a Grim Flare.
No one had Lingering Souls.
Not yet. Yeah. Not yet, apparently. Here's Traverse. Well, it's got Delirium.
Yeah, and he's looking quick.
Basic
just
force.
Wants to land.
Yeah. There's Tarmogoyf. Pass the turn back.
Yeah, and he plans on fighting through this Liliana the hard way.
Yeah, it's not pretty.
But sometimes you don't have a choice.
Yep.
You know, he used his one Abrupt Decay, taking out the opposing Goyf.
That's not very many of those. Give me to Casey. He's playing 2 in the main this weekend.
Yeah, these decks run a smattering of removal. You know, some pushes, some Path to Exile, some Abrupt Decays.
Mm-hmm. They also have to prepare for themselves a little bit by having answers to Lingering Souls throughout their 75. Here's Traverse from Jadine. Traverse was kind of this innocent card among it being printed. And I think people realize that it's not hard to turn it on.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah. Now it's seeing play in multiple formats. In Jadine, for example, a land was a fetch land. That's easy.
Well, and we still see people being very fair with it.
Yeah, for now.
Like tutoring up Grimflayer or Tarmogoyf is very fair for what that card is doing.
Yep.
It's when people start completing their 2 creature card combos that card is a problem.
Here's Grimflayer. But as I was mentioning, Liliana's going to take care of Tarmogoyf. A land, which was a fetch early in the game. A Traverse would search for a land. A Tarmogoyf, which died. And a Path. And all of a sudden you have Delirium. And that's just playing the game of Magic.
Yeah.
You didn't have to play any bad cards to do it.
Yep, she didn't work for it at all.
Yeah. Super easy.
And how is Chad going to get himself out of this predicament?
It's not a great spot for Kastel. That Liliana is causing some trouble, as she is known to do, and Grimflayer is a 4/4, and you do not want to get hit by that thing. Tarmogoyf. Pass the turn back. Tarmogoyf's a 5/6.
It's a big boy.
Yeah, bigger than the old Grimflayer. Klomparens, couple cards in hand. Abrupt Decay. And now here comes Grimflayer. Path to Exile is going to take care of that. Cannot get hit by the Grimflayer.
It's a bad idea.
Yeah, it's just too powerful if it connects. Way, way too powerful.
Yeah, free Lingering Souls into the graveyard.
Yeah.
Don't want to draw any more lands, you know. She already has 4. That's more than enough.
Yeah, for this deck, I think 4 is like the cap, really. Liliana's going to go up. Both players going to discard.
This Liliana's doing a ton of work.
Scavenging Ooze is the discard. Chad's hand must be good. Well, looks like he peeled a Maelstrom Pulse to get out of this situation.
Yeah, but he used so many resources in there.
Another Traverse.
I expect a real big Goyf here. Although maybe she wants Tasigur?
Yeah, could go to Tasigur. We've mentioned Kalitas a couple times. Yep, it's going to be Tasigur. Pretty healthy graveyard.
Yeah.
Going to do some delving here, of course. There are some cards that Jadine's going to want to keep in the graveyard, some that she will want to let go for good.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised to see her hang on to the Traverses. Just because by delving, she's now so far away from Delirium.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess the idea is, only 1 or 2 Tasigur activations, and she's likely back in it.
Yep. Liliana Last Hope is going to plus, and, well, forget it. Yep. I'm done talking about that card right now.
Why'd you waste so much time on it?
Yeah. Can't get that back. Here comes Tasigur. Just long gone.
Yeah, it's so funny. These decks usually play a split of the 2 Lilianas.
Yeah, Chad's playing 2 and 2.
2 and 2, I believe. Jadine's playing 3 Liliana the Veil.
1 Liliana Last Hope.
1 the Last Hope. But there's certain situations where 1 is just so good And there's other situations where the other is so good.
Yeah, both cards are so good, but you don't want to play 4 of each. You know, because that's 8 Planeswalkers. It's a lot of Planeswalkers in Modern. The 2-2 split, it's nice, it's convenient, but there will be situations where one is much better than the other. Like, think about the Liliana that Jadine had this game.
Oh,
Awesome.
so good. But if Chad just had a Lingering Souls to discard, it would have dealt with it so quick, and he would have been happy discarding that card.
Yep. It's true.
Which is the situation where the other Liliana is so good. Once the opponent starts casting Lingering Souls,
yeah, then Liliana Last Hope's the nuts.
you want the last hope.
Yeah.
Just mow them down while growing it.
Misty Rain Marsh Flats, pass the turn back. Kastel, Bobble, number 3. And pass. And Tasker, causing a lot of trouble right now. Klomparens will draw. In for 4. Remember, the way that Kastel had to beat this last game was top deck and Path to Exile at the perfect time. Doesn't have a lot of great answers to this powerful card. Shriek Maw, among the cards that are going into the graveyard here from a Tasker activation. It's getting tough here for Chad Kastel.
Yeah, and the last turn, Jadine, she milled over a Surgical Extraction, which if she decided to cut all of the discard spells, it's possible she doesn't have enough to bring in. Surgical Extraction, obviously very good against Lingering Souls. But there's definitely points. If you're ever behind on the board and you draw that card, it's not helping you at all.
Yep. There are some wonky situations. You mentioned Lingering Souls, which is the primary use.
Yep.
Might be able to strip someone's Delirium.
Yes.
Kind of out of nowhere.
And Chad doesn't have that many. You know, he plays 4 Goyf, 4 Flyer. If you're able to just get all the Goyfs out of Chad's deck, he doesn't have that many threats that you have to deal with after that.
That's true. And this deck has plenty of removal, as Kastel is going to take his turn. Lingering Souls is here. 2 spirits pass the turn. Jadine will sacrifice the Marsh Flats. Fall a bit lower, down to 14, and dig up a land.
And you see Chad, last turn he waited on using his Bauble. Didn't use it right away. It's because he wanted to draw the card after Jadine had any option to use a discard spell.
All right, here we go. Traverse yet again.
She pulls a Fulminator Mage forward.
Sometimes the creature package for Traverse is too appealing.
Bazooka Bog.
Yeah, of course. Why not?
Yep, that's a 1 of in each of these decks.
This is where I would get a little out of control with my deck building. I would just have just
too many 1 ofs.
Just some 1 of I don't need. Like Stonehorn Dignitary. I don't know. I might need a fog. Just what's that doing here? I don't know.
Stonehorn Dignitary.
I don't know. Might be okay. Just some ridiculous 1 of that comes up in a corner case. Kastel now has no graveyard. Jadine's is working overtime. And she's got the Tasker that's also working overtime.
What was the land where you sacrificed all your lands to make the demon?
Tomb of the Urami.
Is that what it was? You end up with a 5/5 flyer?
Yeah, we can take a look. I believe it is Tomb of the Urami, Urami. Memory serves.
Squeeze one of those in there?
Boy. Tomb of Urami, I was close. Is that one you're looking for?
Oh, yeah.
Sacrifice all lands you control, put a legendary 5/5. All right, I'll path it. All right, you win. All right.
I tried my best.
All right, I'll block with Lingering Souls. Well, that's that.
Come on, man.
Look.
You don't have to poo-poo all my ideas.
I'm here to ruin dreams.
You didn't even help me with the Tarmodi.
If you want a Hall of the Bandit Lord, I'm in. Okay? If you want a bad land to search up with Traverse, why don't we go really bad?
Shizo.
That one's got some use. There's probably you can Shizo in
Tasigur.
And work right through. Now we got a full air mage. What else are we going to search up this game?
She's just going at Chad from every angle here.
I've cut off your graveyard.
Just ripping apart limb to limb.
Yep. Now I'm going to cut off your lands.
Yeah.
Then I'm going to mind twist you. Yep, there goes your white source. Chad, very honorable playing this out, as though time is not a factor. as though time does not matter at all. I can appreciate that.
I don't know. Maybe he'll pull this one out.
I'm finding it less and less likely, but who am I to say? 3 mana. Let's make it 4. Another Tasker activation. Jadine is up 300 cards. Gonna give Kastel a Tarmogoyf. He'll sacrifice a land. He'll get a Temple Garden very quickly.
Chad has a Damnation in his hand.
I assumed as much, hoping that Jadine's going to play a bunch of stuff. That's not going to happen.
Yeah, and he doesn't even have a second black source right now to cast it if he wants to.
Jadine would have to get pretty fast and loose with this game and just go like, I guess I'll play 3 Tarmogoyfs.
Yeah, even then.
Yeah, even then, unlikely. Good concession. Good concession. Totally fine. You've got to be cognizant of the clock.
Yep.
We're looking at 18:35 right now.
Plenty of time.
You want to make sure you have enough time to finish the next game because guess what? A draw for you two? Out.
Same as a loss.
Same as a loss. Not going to make top 8 at X3-1 this weekend. So you save that damnation. You don't let them know
Sure.
that you got it. Uh-oh, we got somebody over in the sideboard. Somebody in the sideboard. A little spoiler, everybody. Reed's in the sideboard. Nick, are we doing a deck tech or a player interview? All right, I want a lot of questions about where Reed got his Jund deck. Is it from 93, 94? Because he has no new cards. We're going to learn a little bit more about Reed.
Listen, some players don't have access to as many cards as other people.
Yeah.
You know, you see people show up with a deck, and you're like, I don't want to give this person a hard time about their deck because maybe they just can't get a different deck.
That's true.
It's expensive. Modern is not
It's
a
not
cheap format.
It's not cheap.
And we know Reed owns a Jund deck.
We have a lot of evidence of that. He's played in a lot of tournaments.
Over the years, and maybe he just can't put together the cards for a different deck right now.
Well, hopefully we can find out.
You know, so, I mean, you're really taking shots at his financial situation.
That's not what's happening here. And you know what? I think his financial situation is going to improve after this tournament. That's what I can tell. I don't see either player really going back to the drawing board here. They know that time is of the essence. So what we're going to do, what are we going to do? You know what? We're going to go over our weekly sale very quickly. The StarCityGames.com weekly sale.
Got some goodies waiting for me at home.
I know you do. Maybe you've got that playmat. You know what card that is?
Oh, jeez. Hit me.
I was asking because I don't know.
Oh. You know every card. Come on.
Okay, I think that's Scourge of Kalas. Now, I can't say that with 100% confidence. Grizzlebrand's on the deck box.
Oh, yeah.
Nickel Bolas symbol
thing.
/ horns on the sleeves.
Yep.
Chandra on the binder.
Which Chandra?
I don't know.
Neither do I.
And then I want to make sure Scourge of Valkis. I was really close.
Yeah, you were.
I said Scourge of Kalas. That's Jinder Mahal's finishing move. I was close. That's close. Go to StarCityGames.com.
Buy our products.
/ weekly sale. Yeah, buy our stuff. Buy our stuff. Or if you don't like that sale, there'll be another one up on Monday. So there. Scourge of Valkis. Let's see what that card does. What set's it from?
Dude, we can
Magic 2014. That's so long ago.
tutor that bad boy up with Traverse.
Yeah, that's true. Be part of the Traverse. But jeez.
That's a lot of red mana
2
symbols.
red, 4/4 flying. When it or another dragon enters the battlefield under your control, it deals X damage to target creature or player or X is the number of dragons you control, so 1.
Yeah, it's hard to get that ability going.
Yeah.
The games don't last long if you already have 6 dragons in play.
I just can't attack with them. And it gets fire breathing. All right, you know what? It's got good art. How about that?
What's the Sandworm enchantment?
Oh, Sandworm Convergence. That card
Yeah.
is busted.
You can't attack with your flyers.
That's true. That's how you build up the dragons.
Yeah.
Right there. You can't attack with your flyers because the sandworms are so big that they just eat the flyers.
But apparently the ground creatures don't worry about
They
it.
can attack. Yeah, the ground creatures can come around the sandworms. It's fine. That's fine. Here's a Tarmogoyf.
What's that, a dragon? I'll eat that.
Yeah.
You know?
Is that a human? No,
yeah,
you can come in.
What's that, a wolf just walking by?
Come on in. I'll fight with you. Jadine going to search up a Godless Shrine here off of Marsh Flats. Chad, good start here with a Traverse and a Tarmogoyf.
Why don't the dragons just fly a little higher?
Yeah, I'm not sure. But you don't know how big the sandworms are.
However big they are, the dragons just need to fly a little higher.
Well, they can, maybe the dragons can reach to the ends of the universe. And the dragon can only go so high. Can only go so high.
These are some sandworms.
Yeah. There's a whole enchantment built around them. Chad is going to sacrifice some Marsh Flats.
Yeah, it looks like what we talked about before is the case. We haven't seen any discard spells in either of these games.
No, that's not much of a surprise. Players are generally going to sideboard those out. Do not want to draw them in mid to late game, and the games are going to go long enough where those will be a hindrance. The follow-up. Is it Liliana? Jays.
That's a good one.
Jays. In with Tarmogoyf. It's even bigger now. 3-4. It's the classic black-green mid-range start.
Yep, all these cards are friends.
Can Jadine overcome the powerful Lurgoyf and Liliana?
Doesn't look like she has a Lingering Souls right now.
That's tough. Bobble. Gonna look at Chad's top card.
A little sneaky peeky.
Yep. Now Verdant Catacombs.
Basic Forest.
We're on the hunt. Yes, nailed it.
The white border ones, so they're easy to find when you're searching.
Yeah. I've grown accustomed to white bordered lands recently.
Well, these are...
It's actually kind of nice.
Yeah, still full art.
Yeah, it's actually kind of nice.
I love the border on them.
Yeah. I'm a fan. Liliana the Veil shows up there for Jadine, taking care of Tarmogoyf. Kastel will untap very quickly.
Now it's a question of who has Lingering Souls.
That's the biggest card in the matchup a lot of the time, honestly. And Kastel does have a copy in his hand. He's going to start by plussing Liliana. They're ready to discard. He'll discard Fulminator Mage, now hard cast the Lingering Souls. 2 spirits, pass it over. It's Jadine's turn now. We'll see if she can find Lingering Souls of her own. Saw Kastel discarding a Fulminator Mage. Must mean that it's not about killing lands this game. Or his hand is very powerful, and that was the worst card.
Yeah. Yeah, I expect it's likely the second one. But I mean, Fulminator, that's a lot of mana.
Mm-hmm.
Takes your whole turn, destroy a land. You know, Jadine hasn't missed any land drops up until now. She has a whole bunch of colors.
There goes Fulminator Mage for Jadine.
She thinks the exact same thing.
Yeah. She'll just pass the turn back. We're going back over to Chad Kastel now. He discarded a Fatal Push off of that Liliana.
That looked like another Lingering Souls for Chad.
It'd be a good draw.
It's hard to tell. It's not helping us out a whole lot here.
Kastel taking a look at the battlefield here. Again, both Liliana's on 2. He's going to go after Liliana. See if Jadine has a removal spell to protect the Planeswalker or not. It's so taxing to fight through Lingering Souls with spot removal. Like path exiling one of these, all right, you've killed a fourth of a card, kind of.
Yeah.
Because you gave me a land, so you really didn't.
Yeah. Well, and like how much do you want to keep this Liliana around?
Mm-hmm.
Like, she's going to run out of resources so quick if they're both plussing lilies.
Yep. How high do you value it? Liliana is down to 1 now. Kastel's going to flash back Lingering Souls. So 2 more spirits. And he will simply pass the turn back. Note, he did not plus his Liliana. Abrupt Decay will take care of that. So clearly Chad is happy with the cards that are in his hand that he did not want to plus that.
A lot of people don't know this about Chad. He's a big shoe aficionado.
Oh yeah, he dabbles.
Yeah.
He dabbles in the shoe realm.
He was an early adopter of the Uggs.
That's true. That's true. But he knew. He was ahead of the game. Oh, Liliana Last Hope. Okay.
We're going to switch gears here.
Different Liliana game.
That went quick from 2 Liliana of the Veils on the table to none.
Well, yeah, now we get to a different game where now playing a card like Tarmogoyf is much better now. As Kastel's just going to pass the turn back. Plus, to kill this. Now here's Grimflayer. Kastel will draw. Looks like maybe he's flooding out a little bit. Liliana Last Hope's going to fall down to 2. Pass. Yeah, with the fact that he's not playing anything, something's going on here.
And it's funny, we've seen both situations where each Liliana is so good.
Yeah. Grimflayer in. Nope. Path Exile. A little under 9 minutes here.
Yeah, and this happens sometimes. Decks with tons of removal spells. Sometimes neither player can win.
Yeah, well, Liliana Last Hope is running all over this game now. Kastel's going to draw. What does he have? This looks like a couple of lands here. All he can do is pass again. Wow. Remember, there was a turn in which he did not activate his Liliana, and he discarded a Fulminator Mage, so I'm curious about what's in that hand. I mean, it must just be reactive. Liliana Last Hope's going to tick down now. Jadine will get, looks like Tarmogoyf back. Jadine even has the Lingering Souls now.
She's got it all going on.
Yeah.
This game looked real good for Chad on turn 3 and 4.
It really did. There's Lingering Souls. We're going to head over to Kastel, who's got a Grim Flayer. He'll pass. That's dead. Klomparens in for 2. Kastel's going to fall down to 15. Tick up Liliana the Last Hope. And now there's Tarmogoyf. Pass the turn back. Kastel will untap and draw.
And it looked like Jadine had a Tassiger in her hand. Not 100%. But if she did, she's being very smart about playing around a potential damnation.
And you got to remember, she has one in her sideboard.
Yeah.
So it's something that she'll think about.
Well, this is a known deck.
Yeah.
You know, it's fairly new, but it's been written about. The lists are online, so not a whole lot of surprises for people here.
Tarmogoyf and the Spirit Token are going to go after Liliana the Last Hope. Path Exile will take care of Tarmogoyf. So you can see exactly what's going on with Kastel's hand, which is his hand is very reactive, which is why he's not been doing much of anything. Jadine going to search for basic planes.
Yeah, let's get Jadine some Bordifiers for those lands.
They're looking pretty good right now. I don't know. Maybe some white Bordifies. People have been talking about wanting to get those from Ultimate Guard. Maybe some red ones?
Yeah, I want Bordifiers, every color of the rainbow.
I'll get you some nice yellow ones.
All right.
Maybe. That would be, ugh.
Yeah, I mean, yellow wouldn't be my first choice.
Yellow's tough.
I think blue would be pretty awesome.
I think blue would be pretty good. Here's, Tassiger now. No mana to activate just yet. Looks like one short. And now flashback Lingering Souls. Kastel's going to untap.
Yeah, if he has a Damnation, now's the time.
I think it'd be a good time to pull that trigger.
Yeah, he's thinking about that Liliana rebuying a creature here.
Yep. Under 5 minutes now.
Yeah, it was a tough spot for Chad in there where he just had those 2 or 3 turns where he couldn't do anything proactive. And like you said, he just had all of those removal spells building up in his hands. Drew a couple lands.
Liliana last up's going to get back a Tarmogoyf. Ooh, just 2 Tarmogoyfs.
Those are big boys.
They are. Let's see how big as the clock continues to tick. 5 6s. Back to Jadine we go. Can finish off Liliana. That's kind of the easy part. And there that goes. I'm gonna tick up. Target a Tarmogoyf. Whoa, what's this? Shriekmaw kills the other Tarmogoyf. Wow.
Oof.
That's a heck of a turn. Bob will take a look at the top card here for Kastel. Pass the turn back. Jadine will draw.
Yeah, one of these boards is a little better than the others.
Yeah, no kidding. Klomparens will be untapping very quickly. Got to try to finish this one in time. Bajuka Bog going to take care of the graveyards. Take care of the graveyard, excuse me. Here come the Knuckleheads. And there's a block.
Yeah, Chad's got a block, but
Yep.
the Liliana going to finish it off.
Yeah, it's got to take Damnation and then into Abrupt Decay or vice versa. Lingering Souls isn't the worst I've seen.
Yeah, it just buys him another turn.
Yeah.
Doesn't actually deal with any of the problem.
Mm-hmm. Tasker's an issue. Liliana, the last hope, an issue. That'll take care of one of those. Shriekmaw, not going to be able to be blocked well, of course. So there are your blocks. Trade with some spirits. Jump in front of Tassiger. Kastel will take 4, it appears. Fall down to 5. Is there any damnation in sight? Jadine has a Surgical Extraction in hand. And that is going to do it. Jadine Klomparens is going to win this match over Chad Kastel, 2-1. The ARZAN Traverse Mirror goes to the player on the left. And for Jadine Klomparens, number 15 on our SCG Tour Season 1 leaderboard, still in top 8 contention.
Yeah, well navigated. Like we said, it looked like she was in a real rough spot.